All of you who are joining us via live stream, and thank you to everyone who's joining us in the meeting here today as well. Thank you for joining us. This is one of our Thursday Zoom meetups, and they are the public-facing part of the vidwheel Creator Network. They happen twice a month. They're free to the public. Please come on out to the next one if you're not sitting in the room now. What is the VCN? It is a group that brings together solopreneurs in small businesses who aspire to take our businesses to the next level using self-produced video. We draw on the experience of the community and industry experts to guide you through the process of making video and making it work for your business, giving you better reach, efficiency, and growth. If you find that intriguing, join us for any of our next events. Today's meeting is part of our programming for the Video Sales Month. It's a month where we explore how to use video in your sales process. The next related meeting will be on December 15th, where I'll actually be presenting myself, and I'm presenting leverage video and social for ick-free successful sales. And you can find that at events.vidwheel.com. I'll pop that in the chat in meeting here. That's already in the show notes on the live stream. So with that, we're going to move on to the main event. Today, we're going to hear from Kevin Snow, who's one of the co-founders of Success Champions Networking. And Kevin is an automation and sales and marketing expert, and he is presenting using video in your emails to drive engagement and sales. Kevin, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. The floor is yours.
Cool. Awesome. So good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be here, I guess, or good afternoon for a bunch of you. It's still morning for me in Minnesota. So we're going to talk about video in sales and email marketing and that whole world. And my email marketing kind of goes between the nurturing and actual sales automation, where we're utilizing it within a sales process. So we're going to talk about both. It's going to be in one big group. So it was funny. I was on LinkedIn this morning and I got served up some really cool stats on video. In video and sales. I'm like, sweet, I'm saving these and we're going to use them for something I have going on at noon today. So two things that popped up in stats. 88% of B2B buyers surveyed have watched videos to learn about a company's products or services in the last 3 months. All right, huge. 95% of B2B buyers say video plays an important role in moving forward with a purchase. All right, so video has become a really big thing in the B2B world. It is equally as important in the B2C, business to consumer world. All right, and even if you're in one of those hybrid areas where you're B2B to C, where you're selling to businesses that sell to consumers, having that video in your process and available for your clients is equally as important as well, because a lot of that video will get recycled into stuff that they can use when they're selling to their clients. All right, so video has become a huge part of our culture, just mostly because we've really turned into this 8-second world where we need that thing that's going to catch our attention, that draws us in, then we watch it all. And if you're not doing that, you're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. So what we want to do today is talk about how you create engaging video email and how you integrate it into your processes and your sales. So we're going to walk you through some different things that are going to help make your video emails more effective and get more engagement, and then some technical things on how to actually do it, and then some process stuff. All right. So first off, when you're doing emails that actually have videos in them, or they're linking to videos, have the word video in the subject line. All right, really key, because that's going to draw people in, because they're used to seeing videos on, hey, how to grow your business in 5 minutes a day. If you throw on a video, they're going to be like, oh, cool, I'm going to watch this, as opposed to reading what I'm expecting to be a really long email that's boring. So throw the video in your subject line. It's going to increase your open rates, and it's going to get people that are curious to actually check out and see what you're doing. Now, there's a couple things with putting videos in your email that we need to talk about. Not all clients support playing videos in the actual email. So Outlook, for example, I do a ton of stuff on Microsoft. Microsoft Outlook on Mac will play a video inline. So that means if it's actually embedded in the email, it will play it right in the email without taking you to another page. Outlook for Windows does not. All right. So a lot of clients don't have the capability to actually do that. And if they see that there's actually an embedded file like a video, some of them will actually think it's spam and that it could potentially be something that's going to download malicious code to your machine. So they may actually mark it as spam. So I don't do a lot of direct embeds with videos through our stuff, through Outlook. We'll do things from different providers who have set up their email specifically to do it correctly. But we rarely will embed embed video into email. A lot of email service providers who actually do the automations won't even let you do it yet. So it's not even an option to do. So what you do instead of putting in a video is you want to put in a GIF file. So you want to make out of your video, grab the few screens and then make a GIF so it has that moving piece, put the play button image over the top so they know it's a video. And that is going to let people know that, hey, I need to click this and I need to watch a video. And then have that take them to wherever that video is hosted. Vimeo, Wistia, YouTube, on your own landing page. Those are also very powerful. If you do know that a bunch of your clients are Mac users or they are utilizing clients that do allow video to play and you're able to embed it in your emails, set those to autoplay without the sound. Right. So just when they scroll to it, have it start playing, just like social media does. When you scroll down your Facebook and you see the video starts playing, they do it specifically so that it catches your eye and you stop and watch. So you want to have it auto playing in your emails as well, if that is a capability that you have. So let's talk about content in the videos. So it's really important in these videos that it's not a pitch. And this is something we talk about for all of our sales emails that are supporting an actual sales process. So when I say that, I mean, if you're actually engaged with a prospect and you're talking about them coming on board as a client and how you could work with them, and you're having those sales discussions face-to-face, person-to-person, all your content information that you're sending them, whether it's email, video, whatever it is, should be without the pitch. It should all be tutorial stuff, non-salesy content, things that's going to help them make decisions. So when you look at a sales process, there's a continuum of content. And I just made that up, and that might be the title for my next lead magnet. Download your continuum of content for your sales process. Thank you all. Now I know what I'm doing this weekend. So it starts at the beginning when people are at the top of a funnel and they don't even really understand what their problem is, or if they have a problem, or if they need to spend time working on solving things. So there's content that speaks specifically to that. So case studies are a big one that you're going to see at the top of the funnel. At the bottom of the funnel, where people are getting ready to make that decision, checklists are really big because they want self-assurance that I'm making the right choice and I'm not about to throw away a bunch of money and screw everything up for my business or my world by hiring this person to do stuff for us. So between that, there's all kinds of different content, and it all maps to different parts into the sales process. And it's based on types of information that business owners and decision makers are normally trying to get at that point. So it's really important, if you're going to be utilizing video and creating content and inserting it into your sales process or your lead gen process, that you understand the specific questions that your prospects are asking at each stage of the game. Because that is the type of content you want to be feeding to them. And if you you have a company where you actually have some salespeople, one of the biggest complaints from salespeople when I work with sales teams is that they can't find good content. They don't know what to send. So then when salespeople can't find stuff, you know what we do? We create it ourselves, which drives marketing completely nuts because we don't use any of the actual words that they want us to use. So, and that's really not what you want your salespeople doing, is creating content. You want them doing the face-to-face engagements. So if you understand how your clients make decisions and the key questions that they're trying to get answers to, that's going to allow them to move to the next stage, you can now create your video content to answer those questions and provide that type of guidance and information that they would be searching the internet for. You can serve it up directly in your emails, take them to a landing page where they can download more additional information on those same content and those same questions, and really be the person that's proactively helping them solve an issue, as opposed to being that salesperson who's just consistently trying to get them to sign a contract. All right. So make sure your content is really non-salesy. It's all designed to help them answer key questions. Now, if you're going to do videos, and you're going to be sending the links and, having all the email stuff going out, the other key thing you need to understand about your client base is, where do they watch their stuff? So do they watch on mobile or do they watch on desktop? If you are working with B2B companies and you're selling into the B2B market, predominantly they will watch on a desktop. If you are working with B2C clients, predominantly they watch on their phones. They watch on mobile devices. Now, why is this really important? Who thinks they know why that's important to understand the device? Yeah, Laura's exactly right. She's waving her phone around. If you're on desktop, you want to have your video set up in landscape view so it can fit the screen and it looks right on what they're watching on. On a phone, you want to have your videos for the vertical mode, portrait mode, as I believe is what they used to call it. So you want your videos upright, so less wide stuff and more just right here. So you want to understand how they're watching so that the videos display correctly on their device. So the cool thing, if you're sending them to a landing page, you can actually have two types of videos on there. And you can set up the page to display content based on the type of device they're watching from. So I have lots of landing pages on my site that if you go to it from a phone, it's going to display one way and display certain content. If you go from a desktop, it's going to display different content that's designed to display correctly on the desktop. So it's not just being optimized for the size of the screen, but actually making sure the content is right for that place. Laura, I saw your hand moving. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I just had a really quick question. Can you also set it up for tablet as well? Because I know that's one of the features that I have in WordPress.
So yeah, you can look at, when you're setting up pages, you can set it up for tablet. Tablet's a little weird because you can do it either way. On that, most people, when they're watching videos on their phone, don't necessarily turn it this way. They're going to watch it just the normal way you hold your phone. Tablet's a little bit different. So I usually treat tablet like a desktop, because I know that when I go to a tablet and I'm looking at websites, I'm looking at it like a desktop version because I want the width, not the vertical.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, but that's me. And I keep having to remind myself, not everyone uses technology like I do. So it'd be cool if they would show you, like, yeah, it's a tablet and they were watching it this way. So you can actually see how people are using it, but that's not one of the things they track. So I think with a tablet, you're safe either way because it's going to display correctly, no matter what you do. The other key thing when you're putting out videos that are going to be going out in emails that they're going to be read, whether it's for your sales process or nurturing or even on social media, is you need to include the captions and subtitles. How many of us turn audio up when we watch videos on social media? The only time I do it now is when they have a caption that says, turn the volume up. Because now I know there's something that I actually need to listen to that's going to add to my viewing experience. Otherwise, I want captions because I'm normally doing other things at the same time and I don't want the sound going off. Or it's going to distract me from other things that I have going on. So having the captions or subtitles is really key so people can watch it when they get it in the moment, as opposed to saying, oh, I'll come back and watch it later so I can listen to it. Because we all know how that goes. When we say we're going to come back and do something, it doesn't always happen. So making it easy for them to consume right when they get the email and they open it the first time is really key. So now some specific types of videos to include. So we talked about types of content, but when you're doing welcome emails, that is a key time to do a video. And we've started adding them into the welcome emails that we're sending out for Success Champion Networking with Donnie. Welcoming the new members into the organization, because it helps really build that relationship, and it's going to get people to click through and do the stuff. So we have that picture of the video, so we know that they click through the landing page and they see their quick start guide and they see all the things they need to do, and make them really specific. Don't do the really super generic welcome video. It's, hey, it's great to have you here, looking forward to get to know you, blah, blah, blah. Be specific about what they should expect, and what's going to happen next, and actually give them some meat in that video. And make sure that it comes out really soon after someone joins, whether it's your course or your community, or they become a client. Make sure that's sent out right away. And so that you can take advantage of their excitement about being that new person. And you can really personalize them. And the cool thing is, for a lot of those that I do for clients, I use a service called Vidyard. There's also one called Bonjoro. BombBomb is another one you can use, but they do personalized videos and they send it out via email. So you can actually do stuff in your video that is personalized to that client, and we'll add in content so the client knows you're talking about them. So if you ever seen those videos where someone's holding up a whiteboard and it has the, hey, welcome to so-and-so, and then the company name of you, that was done in one of those services where they take video that you've pre-recorded, and then they're in post-production, they can add in customized information that then send it out to your client, so they all look like they're getting a video that was made just for them. So really cool service. It's really awesome. And that personalization is really actually key for the video. So in the thumbnail from those types of videos, it'll always have that person's name in it, because now they're even more curious about, how their name is in the video, or their company name, or their information, and they'll want to click through and see how they're talked about. So that video personalization is huge. Video testimonials from customers is also really good. Those are awesome to throw into like a newsletter, or in the later stages of a sales process. So I did a sales automation for a roofing company, and this was done a few years ago. So we didn't have the video piece as a big part yet. But after they got out and did the actual pricing for the client and said, hey, here's how much the roof will cost, here's a timeline, all that type of stuff, there was an automated email that went out with their testimonials from people in the area. That easily could be a video testimonial that you could then show to the client. And video testimonials are really key because they up the social value for the person watching them. It's one thing to see words, but then when you see the person actually saying those words, now it's legitimate. Have we ever looked at a website and said, I wonder if are these real testimonials, or do they just write them? And then put like Neil K as the person who said it. Is there really a Neil K? Is that a real picture of him, or do they just pull it off of stock imagery? But when you see actually someone saying it, it's like, oh, this is a real testimonial. So it adds weight and legitimacy to it, and it actually helps them perform better. And then the last thing that you want to do with anything you're doing with email and video, and you're trying out things, is you need to do split testing. You need to split test your video emails. So, and the things you're going to test with them is really, it's little stuff, but you want to test different video or subject lines. You want to test the content in the body. You even want to test the thumbnail that you're using, the GIF that you're using, and then placement in the email itself. You know, do you put the video at the top? Do you get more click-throughs than if you put it at the bottom? So you want to look at all those little things because they're going to give you incremental improvements in your click-through, which is really key. You know, if each of them increases, you do those 5 tests and each of them increases your click-through by 1%, by the end, that means you're going to have a 5% greater click-through, which means you should have a higher close ratio and opt-in later on. So most email systems will let you do the split testing right in their system, and they'll show you the results and let you pick which one you want and automatically make that the email that goes everywhere. So I want to open it up for some questions. I went through a ton of stuff really quick for you. This is your chance now to ask me anything you want about email and sales, video and a process and all that type of stuff.
Unmute myself. Yeah, excellent, Kevin. Thank you. That was a lot of info there. Really good stuff too. Myself really love the idea of changing up the video or video orientation based on your devices that are watching it. That's it's built into a lot of the content management system. So yeah, that's great advice.
Even just the idea of, you know, how you record the video. If I'm doing a you know, an Instagram video, that I want to use other places, do I put my phone and hold my phone like this so I have the vertical, or do I hold my phone this way so I can get the landscape video that I want for other places? So really looking at that piece and using that to determine how your video looks is going to be really key to help you get the right content for the right device.
Yeah, that's great stuff. That is stuff to or aspects to consider for sure. Does anybody have any questions? You could pop a question in chat, or you could just raise your hand. Or
Bella asked, what was the name of the personalization software we mentioned? There were 3 of them. One of them was Vidyard. Another one was BombBomb. And then the third one was Bonjoro.
Yes. And Vidyard in the past, I know, always had, when you could like pseudo embed their videos into email, right? It wouldn't be a true embed, but they'd make a GIF of a couple seconds of the video content. And that was a great way to kind of get the best of both worlds there. So that's one I'm very familiar with.
So Christos asked, and Christos, I am so not going to try your last name. I'm sorry, because I know I'm going to kill it. Although that could be entertaining for all of you. So Christos asks, at which stage of your cadence do you actually include the personalized video? Start, mid, or near closing? I will include personalized video multiple places in it. And the personalization is best all the time because it makes them think they're getting content that was made for them, and that you did stuff as the salesperson, you know, specifically thinking about them. So I like using it all the time. You know, it's really powerful right after that first meeting where they just met you and they're still working on, you know, are we moving through the sales process together or not? So it's really powerful there. And then towards the end, when you're pushing out content that's helping them make that final decision, you know, letting them think that you're sending out content specifically to their situation is really key on cementing the relationship and saying, you know, these are the people that we want to work with because they're really attentive to our needs and they understand us. So it can be powerful throughout the process.
I'll add to that, Kevin, something that you and Donnie often talk about. Early on, right? If you make an intro of yourself, if you're showing off just who you are and how you kind of operate and stuff, it can attract people who are into the way you're doing things, and have people who are not as excited about it fall off. So it can really help start to shape your I don't know, your client group early on. So it can be good for that.
Yeah, and it's especially when you're looking at the early stages of the sales process, where you're trying to help them move through that need assessment on their end, and they may not actually be actively engaged with you in a sales conversation yet, but they're watching your stuff and downloading content and looking at the internet, trying to figure out, do I even have this issue? If you throw out the really great business content, but also then start including content on your sites about you as a person and stuff that you have going on, helps them build that personal relationship with you and start to feel more comfortable interacting with you as a person, as opposed to just, oh, Kevin's just going to, if I call Kevin, he's going to sell me stuff, because all his content sales stuff. Some of Donnie, my business partner's most engaged content on his social media are the number one engaged thing for him on his social media is the video of him showing off his Great Pyrenees after they found them, after they got out and ran off. When they came back, he's still getting people clicking on it and engaging with it. It's his dogs and his miniature goats. Everyone wants to see the miniature goats. So throwing those things in, it doesn't have to be a big part of your video content, but it is a great thing to have bits and pieces so people can see, oh, Laura's a real person. Gina goes out and does these things. If you are out checking out all the Christmas lights in your city during this season, throw a quick video out. I will totally click on it and watch it because I love Christmas lights. So it draws those people who have those same interests into following your stuff. And then they start hearing all the other things. They're like, oh, Gina's really smart. I need to set up a virtual coffee and talk to Gina.
Yeah, that is excellent advice, and that is the more you can relate, right, in those smaller ways. That's a good way to build the trust and build your credibility and so on.
Yeah, Christos just made a really great comment in chat, and I want to expand on that a little bit because I think that's spot on. He says, I found adding a video with me explaining an offer helps a bunch in understanding our options. That is completely right. Doing explainer videos can really take complicated topics and make them super easy to understand. So for a lot of my clients that are on the more technical side and they want to go down into the features and all the bells and whistles and all that stuff, I make them back up and we'll do some sort of explainer video for their website or in their prospecting cadences that helps make it super easy for people to understand what they do and how they help. And that has really, for them, has made a drastic change in how people move through their sales process because it's made it easier and people aren't looking, especially I do a lot with cyber companies. It's not scary and complicated. It makes it sound much easier to implement. And then we can get into the real talks. And then when we are right, then we can talk to the people in their companies who do the technical, complicated stuff, and they can nerd out and talk about all the really hard stuff. But, for the business owners, we want to make it really super easy and stuff that they can understand. So those explainer videos are awesome. Yeah, Laura, I record the Great Christmas Light Fight every season. The first episodes were the other night, and I was excited. I'm like, I just sat in front of the TV and watched those. So Christmas lights and decorations will get me every time.
Well, there you go. Excellent. And we've got a question coming off the live stream here. Carolyn Choate, who you know. What size list do you recommend before you start using split testing?
Well, there's this thing in statistics called statistically viable. Mm-hmm. So where it tells you like, yeah, your stats are actually good, you should use them or not. You can do it right away. You just have to understand, how many people are actually testing it and seeing it. So you're going to need, I will not start really paying attention to it till I've had a few hundred responses. And then if I know that the list that I'm sending that to is really targeted and is the right people, then it'll give me more weight. If it is general people just opting in and you're split testing on that type of campaign, you're going to want a few hundred people in that campaign, up to 1,000 people going through it to really get good statistically relevant information.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. And she says, thank you. So anybody else have any other questions for Kevin here? Otherwise, I always write a few things down and we can get into them. So anybody else going once? All right. I've got a couple then. First, Kevin, the sword in the background. What's going on there? I know you curate your background a little, but
So
what's up there? What are we doing?
So that sword was a gift. So I was a groomsman in my sister's wedding years and years and years ago. So they gave me a sword. It's got an engraving on it and everything. And so it's really cool. I also have another one that is not here yet. It's still in Texas. Donnie's brother is making me a stand for it.
Nice.
But it is a Spartan sword, and that will be up top when I get that back. So yeah, I like
Totally
swords,
ingrained.
Knives, lightsabers. Yeah. That's all good.
Yeah. Well, that's I know there had been Star Wars stuff in the background before, so I thought maybe we'd be going down a similar path. But all right, that's awesome, and I look forward to the Spartan sword soon. To get back to the actual video side of things, you mentioned some platforms you can embed video within the email client will open it, and you recommend putting it on autoplay. I would imagine autoplay with captions like the social media, or do you find maybe it doesn't make as big a difference in that context?
So yeah, you want in your email, if you're doing autoplay, you want to have those captions embedded in the video. So it just automatically is there with that video as it plays. Because if I'm watching a video or if I'm clicking on an email and while I'm on, because people are multitasking. If I'm on a Zoom call and I open a video or an email that has a video and has sound, I'm going to be not happy. And I'm going to close it right away, and I'm probably not going to watch it. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's not a video from someone I'm actively engaged in a discussion with. So you want to have the sound off. Websites won't even play video. They'll automatically mute your video if you have the sound turned on, just because they understand that is not a good thing for their users for an experience. So they'll, if you can set up a landing page and say, yep, autoplay with sound, but the browser will still turn the sound off and they'll auto mute you. So it's better just to have it off and have the captions in and make it really easy for people to consume.
Excellent. That's good stuff. And let me see, anybody else, if you have a question, hop in, or I got one more for Kevin. All right. Oh, no. Everybody loves your sword. That's what I'm seeing through most of the comments. So both on live and in the meeting. So that's good. Good.
Donnie has a couple in his background too. He has his NCO sword from the Marines. He also has an El Cid rapier that he uses at Renaissance fairs. I don't have my officer saber yet from the Army, but that will be coming at some point. So there'll be another one back there too. So
right on. So here's, I'll do one more question. We'll see if we got anything, if anybody else comes up with any others. But you mentioned personalization, especially in the kind of early moments of that email relationship, we'll call it, right? Like you mentioned Vidyard and how you can change names and stuff. Do you happen to know any numbers in terms of like impact, right? Like I hear it helps, and I know you mentioned it, but do you happen, I don't know if you're packing numbers on that, like it helps this much more or something. Okay.
I do not know the numbers, but even when you think about the impact that personalizing an email has over just a generic email that you send out, it's a huge impact, because people want to feel like they're being talked to directly and they're not just someone in a group getting a bunch of stuff. So that personalization is huge, because as video becomes much more commonplace in how people are selling, both on B2B and B2C, and you're seeing it in the automated sequences that are going out, people are going to start recognizing if it is a personalized, a real email, or a real video, or if it's something that's just made by marketing. So you want to be smart about how you're doing it and include that in, because it's going to help people engage with it better. The example I use on email all the time is the email, and it's still our most clicked through email for Donnie and I on his Success Champions group. The first thing I ever did for him when I started working was build out a welcome sequence for the public Facebook group. And email number one was a standard, hey, welcome to the group. Here's all the rules. Don't break them. We'll kick you out. Email number two, the subject line was, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm an ass. Number one opened email in our catalog of emails. But the email through it was, hey, I'm so sorry. I was so excited to have you in the group. I was wanting to learn all about you. I didn't even tell you anything about me. Here's 3 things people don't know about me. And then asked a question at the bottom. Completely automated email, but we still get multiple emails a week from people replying back saying, oh my God, Donnie, I didn't think you're an ass. I wasn't offended at all. I love that you do this, and here's the answer to your question. I'm like, there is a big block at the bottom that says, if you don't want to get any more of these emails, please click here to unsubscribe, which is usually a big sign that this is an automated email. But people replied back to it because it is super personalized to them, and they feel like Donnie was actually talking to them.
That's very
Christos
cool.
asked another really cool question. Would you or rather can you use this video personalization on LinkedIn InMail? I don't know. I am not a LinkedIn expert. I wouldn't see why you couldn't use personalized video on LinkedIn InMail.
I've seen it done. I've received them. I think I would treat it much the same as email. Yep. So if a regular message works well, a video message will have even a little, probably give you a bump.
Yep.
Bella asked another very interesting question here too, which is there anything you don't recommend when it comes to video? So looking at it from the other end here.
Yeah, so no, don't go long. Keep them short. 5 minutes is really what we kind of go for the bulk of our videos. If they're going to be in a sales or marketing world, 5 minutes or less. Once people get into our world and are doing stuff, then we'll do 10-minute videos. We'll do longer things, but we still want to try and keep it short that people can consume and not have to set aside an hour to watch. So we want to make it really easy for them to utilize. And if we do have content that's going to take multiple, it's going to be an hour to go through, then we'll break it down into smaller videos so they can watch bits and pieces and keep moving through that content that way. Don't do loud, obnoxious colors and stuff. You want to keep it so it is inviting to everyone. You want it loud and obnoxious just enough that it gets people attention, but not so much that you look like Cirque du Soleil. And I love Cirque du Soleil, just, it's really cool. I love going to them. But my business videos, I want them, they need to look and feel, still like a business video, but enough edge on them that people are interested and they want to click through and see what you're saying. But don't go over the top. Don't be Mr. Beast on YouTube. That's not what you're probably going for most of your business videos.
All right. And I think with that question, I'll get into a couple closing comments. Everybody in the meeting, please stick around. We might have a couple more minutes to ask questions, and we will go through that. So yes, to all of you on the live stream, thank you for stopping by. Everybody in the meeting, thanks for coming out. Next time, if you're on the live stream and you want to get into this meeting, come on out for the next Zoom meetup. where I present leverage video and social for an ick-free successful sales process. And that's at events.vidwheel.com. And with that,